Hello, today's Penina's perspective is about employees versus freelancers as far as their legal status is concerned. Now, the best way to explain why it's important is to tell you about a real case that we had at Acumen Business Law. It was to do with a company that fit blinds on the window, and they had a lady working as a freelancer for them, that her job would be to come here, measure the window, give you a quote, and then the company will come and fit the blinds. After a couple of years of working for them, a recession hit and they decided to terminate the arrangement. The next thing that hit their desk was an employment tribunal claim. And when they came to see us, their first question was, what is she doing in an employment tribunal? She's not an employee, she's a freelancer. And this is precisely the point of this video. The way the court will determine whether a person is an employee or a freelancer is by carrying out a number of tests. The first test that the court will carry out is, was that company her only client? Was she working for other businesses, or were they her only client? Because if somebody just works for one business, it's an indication that that person is an employee and not a freelancer. Another test they will carry out is tools. Was the freelancer using their own tools, or were they using the company tools? Because normally if a person is an employee, the company will provide the tools for them. Another test that the court will carry out is, was the freelancer being paid if she was absent? Because that would be another indication of an employee. If the freelancer is sick or on holiday, a true freelancer doesn't get paid. Whereas if she was paid, then that's an indication that that freelancer was actually an employee. Another test is control. If you have a freelancer, you can pick up the phone and say, look, I've got this fantastic project, would you like to get involved? And a freelancer can say, no, thank you, I'm not interested, I'm busy, or whatever it is. Whereas an employee, you would expect the employee to engage in the services. So the important thing to understand is that the court will look at all the tests together, not each test in isolation. And the important thing is that if that person is held to be an employee, all the employment regulations will apply. So minimum wage, if you could potentially be in breach of minimum wage, or the holiday pay that you owe them, everything else that an employee is entitled to, that person who you thought was a freelancer will also be entitled to. Another body that will raise their ugly head is HMRC. Because then they'll come to you and they'll say, well, if that person is an employee, can I have all the income tax payment that you owe for them, the national insurance contributions payment that you owe for them? So therefore, it is really important. The tip that I want you to take away from this Penina's perspective is that if you engage somebody as a freelancer, you truly need to engage them as such. So you are the client and they are their service provider, as opposed to an employer and employee type of relationship. That was Penina's perspective on employees versus freelancers as far as their legal status is concerned.